So wholesaling, I don't know, how many wholesalers do we have in the room? Quite a few. So you guys know, wholesaling, what is wholesaling? For those who don't know, wholesaling is, of course, when you get a contract on a property, and rather than buying that property, you're going to assign the rights to the contract to somebody else who actually is going to buy. And of course, for the value of you stepping out of that contract, you get a fee. So these things can range from, I don't know, $1,500 in Baltimore City, maybe $500 in Baltimore City, Charles? On a $20,000 row house in Baltimore City, there just isn't that much room to play with, right? But, you know, something really small to, in D.C., hey, I've seen somebody get $220,000 as a wholesale fee in D.C. All right, so it ranges. Obviously, depending on the area, depending on what you're doing, what value you're adding. If you're working on probate deals, you might be able to bring to market something that is highly valuable that you've been working on for a long time, or tax sale deals, a long time, years, and then you bring it to market. You've already done all the due diligence on it, right? You've already brought the deal to fruition, and there's a lot of value in that. There's a lot of value in that. So, you know, $30,000, $40,000, not uncommon, especially in D.C. It's generally considered riskless, or at least not risky, if you structure your contracts right, correct? So you're not buying it, you're not taking on any rehab risk, you're not taking on any market risk, you're just getting the property under contract and you're assigning it to somebody else. If you can't find that buyer, then you're wiping out the contract, right? You've got a contingency in the contract that says, hey, I'm out of this thing in 2 weeks if I can't, you know, find somebody. Right? So that is, of course, wholesaling. Could be upside. Potential is totally unlimited. Even in commercial deals. Even in commercial deals, we see... how's it going? Good to see you. Even in commercial deals, you get deals assigned. Like, you know, big apartment building type commercial deals. All right? It's important to note, just in case you don't know, this might be just a legal point that only I care about, but you should care about if you want to stay out of trouble. The reason why you can market those wholesale deals, whereas a bird dog can't, is because you have equitable title. Once you get on that contract, you have equitable title. So the difference between legal and equitable title, we talked about this in the past lunches. Legal title is what you think of when you say, I own this property. You have legal title to it, right? Your name's on the deed. You can do whatever the heck you want with that property. Equitable title just says, I have a right to get legal title. I have a right to get legal title. So it could be an option, could be a contract. Of course, option is a contract, but people tend to think of them a little differently. But the idea is that is what allows you legally to market that property and go find another buyer. Maybe even put it on MLS, right? So very important that you know that. A lot of times brokers will get, sort of cast stones on wholesalers because they say, oh, well, you're not licensed. Well, you don't need to be a licensed real estate agent to market a property if you've got equitable title in it, right? Or legal title, for that matter. Because I can market my own property. If I own a property, I can market that as much as I want to market it, regardless of what license I may or may not have. Query the difference between a real estate agent and a wholesaler. What are they doing? They're bringing a deal, they're finding someone who wants to sell, and they're marrying it with somebody who wants to buy. Exactly the same thing, for a fee, right? They're not so different. I know that kind of raises the hackles of the licensed real estate agents in the room, but that's at base, at core, that's what you're doing, right, as a wholesaler. You're doing exactly the same thing as a real estate agent, except you're on the contract. So if you default in some way, then you've got skin in the game. Presumably, you're going to lose your EMD if you don't exercise your contingencies beforehand. All right? And, of course, there's no money out of your pocket. Okay.